Hey folks, Jordan with My Strategic Forecasts Inside the Numbers Live. And I wanted to do a short instructional video to help you all maximize your potential returns with stocks on the move. And it covers a question that I get a lot from folks that join the live room. They want to know how I manage my orders around the open. You see, a lot of the stocks will be either very close or hitting their levels right up until the point that the market hits the regular session. And they don't know whether they should be placing the orders before the market opens or after the market opens. So I wanted to do a video that helped you understand how I manage this type of problem using staged orders and how I place the orders around the open. To do this, I wanted to cover a trade I had in Nike recently and help you understand my thought process and how I place the orders going through the pre-market and the regular session. So in this chart, you'll see that I have several levels identified. I have $107.25, $105.80, and $104.75. Now you'll notice in the pre-market, you can see how the stock was running down on this 1 minute chart right up into that price level. And so it was a question of whether it was going to open above or below those levels. And here's how I decide what I want to do. If a stock is going to open up very, very close to that level, I wait until after it opens and I wait to see where it's going to open. Once it is opened, then I decide to place the order accordingly. Now, sometimes that can cause me to miss orders, and I've had many stocks that will open, hit a price target where I have an order sitting and waiting, but because of the way that I place the order after the market opens, it won't get filled, and then it'll run away from me. That's a risk that I'm willing to take, and it doesn't happen all that often. So in this particular case, I placed my order to buy shares of Nike at the $107.25 after I saw the market open and the stock opened above the important level. If I saw that it had opened and I look only at the opening print below that level, then I would have moved on to the next spot, which would have been the $105.86. Now, the hard question with all of this is, how do I manage my orders in such a short period of time? And to do that, I'm going to show you how I use staged orders. So staged orders allow me to select a complex set of orders where one fires off right after another. In this particular case, I'll show you how I set up one for Nike. Now, let me bring over an interesting little workbook that I put together that helps me with identifying and creating my orders. This is an Excel workbook that I use every day where I enter the stocks on the move, and using pre-populated formulas, it tells me how to place the different orders that I want based on the parameters that I've set. So I actually select my buying power, and I put in the stops based on the hourly closes and the different entry levels, and it gives me an output that I can then use to put into the staged order. So let me show you how I do this using this particular Nike order. So what I want to do here is create a staged order, and in this one I'm going to create one that is a custom order cancels order, order sends order. And in this one I go through and I click on an order sends order and I hit OK. Now in this case what I'm going to do is get a pop-up that'll tell me a custom name, and in that I actually copy over some of the information from my Excel workbook. It helps me to move through these a little faster, especially first thing in the morning. So the first thing I do is type in Nike for the main order, and I've identified that I want to buy 50 shares, and the first price level I have on that is $107.25. It's got the right account, so everything's good there. Then I add another single order to that, and this is going to be my first sell order. So for that one, I'm going to put in 25 shares because I'm going to sell half at my first target. That first target is $108.32. So I type in $108.32. Now at this point, I add one more sell order target that's higher up just in case the stock becomes a runner. Most of the time, I'll just keep it simple and add another single sales order to this. So in that case, I typically sell half of my remaining shares. So in this case, it would be 13, and I would do it at the last price level, which is $108.97. This gets everything set up, and then I can go ahead and stage the order. Now, you'll notice here at the bottom that it has everything set up with the staged order. So when the market opens, I can go ahead and right click on it and hit send now, and it'll send that complex order. That way it'll buy at the first level, put in the immediate sales order for my price target, and then put in the next price target on top of that. And that's exactly what happened here. You can see that I entered into the trade in the second minute, bought with a small drawdown. I sold at the first price target that I had in, and then I sold half of what I had left at a second price target a minute later. Now the remainder, I actually set a stop back around my first profit target just in case it pulled back, which it did and ultimately went lower. But this is how I manage a trade right around the open, because with things moving so quickly, I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to collect as many profit targets as possible without having to rely on manual intervention. If I have something where I have, say, 7 or 8 stocks on the move and I have to manage a lot of orders first thing in the morning, I would come back to this staged order, and instead of just simply putting a limit order for the second out, I would also add in another order sends order. And then I would come in here and group these as cancellation orders. That way, what I can do with the remainder is put 25 left, and I put stop market back at my break even, which is $107.25. Now I have a full complex order that will buy at my entry level, sell a portion at the first price target, and then it'll either stop out back at break even with the remainder or take off a portion of that at the next price level. So that's a little something about how I like to go through and manage my orders around the open. It can take a little bit of practice, but ultimately I found it successful in helping me to get in and get out of trades, and it's pretty rare that I end up missing one. So it's something that you can use. It's something that I teach, but exclusively in the live room, and I hope that you will join me there, because there's many, many other lessons. I love to teach folks. There's options that we go through. I talk a lot about how to look through the different aspects of David's teaching and help you identify and understand all the different pieces that come together. There's a 7-day free trial. I strongly encourage you to check it out if you haven't done so already. It's a great time, and I would love to have you. My name is Jordan with My Strategic Forecast Inside the Numbers Live, and we hope to see you in the room.